Hello and welcome to round one of the Just Cars Australian Drifting Grand Prix. It's round one of the season. There's a bunch of new cars, new setups, new drivers to join the ranks of Australia's best drifters. We're down here at Calder Park Thunderdome. Let's go.
The dome is insane. It's the crowd's right on top of everything. They get filled with smoke, taste the rubber. The drivers love it. It's wall scraping, true door-to-door action, and you can't get much better than that.
It's hard on your car, you know, you drop your wheel off on the first turn, destroys your car. There's walls everywhere, there's big bumps down on the bottom, you know, there's bumps on the exit of the corners, and it's a hard track, you know.
I love it, absolutely love it. Walls, flat out, heaps of smoke, limbs, just rocking.
The dome means to me, it's my first place I ever got my first ADGP win, so it's really special in that way. And every other time we come here, we seem to fail epically. So we're going to try turn our luck around. We've got a brand new car, we've got some new sponsors, so we're really looking forward to having a really good run at this event this weekend.
It's a true birthplace of ADGP. We started back here 5 years ago. Moving into its fifth season, the Australian Drifting Grand Prix this year, and it's definitely proven that we're here to stay. The bar has been raised, the drivers, the teams, the professionalism in the paddock this year is absolutely unbelievable, and we keep driving that and truly showing that we're setting the benchmark for drifting in this country.
Well, all of the drivers got a full day of practice on the Saturday, which is great for teams testing out new cars and new setups ready for this season.
We're about to head into qualifying highlights, but before we do, let's jump on board with two-time winner here at the Dome, Bo Yates, for a tour of the track.
Getting away from the starter, slow, through the chicane, up into fourth gear, all 700 horsepower, entering as fast and as early as possible with as much angle as possible. Running that outer clipping zone along the white line, out to the rear clip. So we switch hard and fast to the outer clipping point out by the grass, then through the Achilles hairpin, full noise, 2J, 700 horsepower, out to the last clipping point. That's a lap of Calder Park, the Dome.
Well, Bo Yates qualified in 7th place, and in 6th place it was this man, Shane van Gisbergen, de Giz, in the Wilkinson Suspension VE Commodore.
So Shane, you had some big dramas yesterday, had hardly any track time, so you finally had a good run then. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. We had a lot of issues, as you say, with the car gearbox overheating, but guys have done a great job getting it running. So 2 qualifying runs then. The first one I just wanted to get some points down, so pretty conservative, but second one, let it go. And yeah, it was pretty cool.
4th place went to the Drift Kid, Nick Coulson, in the Achilles Radial VEU. In 3rd was Josh Botcher in the Monster V8-powered GT Radial S15 Sylvia. In 2nd place, Brendan Greaves was an early standout in the WA Performance S15. Impressive considering it is his first time at the Dome.
Okay, so Brendan, you've had a killer qualifying run. Can you run us through it?
Yeah, well, we thought we'd better just do a safe one for the first one, so we went out, thought I'd better go all out on the next one and give it all I could.
Well, the best was literally saved till last, with 2014-15 season champion Michael Rosenblatt taking the #1 qualifying spot in the Newline Oils R32 Skyline in one of the most dominating qualifying performances we've ever seen.
So Michael, you absolutely smashed it out there. You beat second by nearly 13 points with a top score of 93.5. Possibly the best score in ADGP history. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's a great way to start the weekend. You know, we're a bit off in practice and we did a few things to the car in off-season, so to go out there and to finally get my head around it and start nailing some consistent good runs, you know, and to get that score, I'm stoked. You know, I never really qualify well, so this is probably my first pole anyway, so.
Let's take a look at the top 10 in qualifying. Rosenblatt and Greaves first and second. Josh Botcher in third. Nick Coulson in fourth. Prosnick, the highest ranked Victorian, in fifth. The Giz in sixth place. Michael Bonney gets his highest qualifying score to date with 8th, and Josh Robinson, the rookie, in 9th, and Agus in 10th place for qualifying.
Now to the top 32 highlights. Michael Rosenblatt and Brendan Greaves got bye runs and a guaranteed spot in the top 16. Jimmy Turner missed practice on Saturday due to car issues and was the first victim, going down to Chris Froome in the Goodride R34 Skyline. Michael Bonney backed up his qualifying performance, defeating Nick Wilson in the big Toyota after he made contact lost in the cloud of smoke. Next up, Josh Robinson defeated Catherine May. Adam Monk had some suspension issues, causing the car to understeer off the bank. This caused some contact in Monk's lead run, but Coulson was given the win. Dale Campaign and Brent Gordon gave us the first super tight battle and had to go to a rerun to determine the winner. It was close as well, but Gordon just got the win in the PSA Ski Boats S15 Sylvia. Anthony Cece was having issues with his newly built S14 Sylvia and lost to local favourite Michael Prosnick. Next up, Finney O'Hare defeated Sam Tabouche in the Highflex R34 Skyline.
On the other side of the battle tree, the Giz had a radiator explode on his lead run. He was out early. Brad Toohey gave a good fight to Jake Jones, but some car issues caused him to straighten out in his chase and gave the win to Jake Jones. Brad Uren had mechanical dramas in the S15 and gave Josh Botcher an easy win. Levi Clark put down a killer chase on Jason Ferron to take the win. Bo Yates was on point, chasing down and defeating Chris Day. Agus from the Insane Drifters and Matty Hill had to go a rerun to determine a winner in another great battle, with Matt Hill coming out on top. And Rob White took the win over Ender, rounding out the top 32. Don't go anywhere, as after the break, we head into the top 16 tandem battles here at round 1 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting GP. Welcome back to round 1 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting GP. It's top 16 time now, and this is the Drivers' Parade, which is a chance for the spectators to meet the drivers and check out their rides. Well, let's get into it. Here it is, the Newlon Oils top 16 battle tree. You can see some pretty serious matchups are starting to unfold already. Our first one, two Queenslanders go head-to-head. Reigning champion Michael Rosenblatt in the Newlon Oils R32 Skyline up against Chris Froome in the turbocharged V8 Goodride Tyres R34 Skyline. Rosenblatt is #1 qualifier, so he will lead first. Full throttle run up now, throws it in nice and early up against the wall. Chris Fromme's a bit slow winding on the angle, didn't go out wide enough. He's doing a little bit better through the horseshoe now, getting out to the wall on that outer clip and putting down a pretty solid chase run coming into the Achilles radial horseshoe. But he does lose a bit of ground there coming out of it, and Michael Rosenblatt pulls away a little bit. Judges saying slight advantage is going to Rosenblatt on this run. So Chris Fromme is going to have to put on a spectacular lead run. He wants to try and take the win here. Full throttle run up now, initiates, throws it out. Not far enough out towards the wall to really impress the judge, but then he goes wide, puts two tyres off, that completely throws him off. Rosenblatt followed him out there as well, and I think it's pretty safe to say that the win will be going to Michael Rosenblatt.
Looking at the Achilles radial replay, you can see Froome goes wide, getting a wheel onto the dirt, washing off a lot of speed. Froome then goes shallow over the white line, and it's all over for him.
Our next pairing now is Michael Bonney in the C&D Motorworks S15 up against Josh Robinson in the Horsepower Factory HSV Maloo. Robinson, a rookie here at ADGP. However, he's considered a bit of a dark horse and will be one to watch in the future. Michael Bonney, though, seems to be driving the best he ever's driven in ADGP this weekend. Qualified well, throws it in right, nice, close to the wall. Robinson, though, pushes too hard and makes contact with Bonney and pushes him off the track. We'll have to check the replay shortly to see whether that off-track excursion was Robinson's fault, or was he going to do it on his own? But Robinson definitely came in too hot. They're going to switch it around now. Josh Robinson will lead in the Horsepower Factory Maloo. Another Commodore joining the series. He throws it in. Great entry, big angle from Robinson. But Bonnie is right there with him, putting down a great chase run. He could have hung back a little bit after that last run, but he's putting down a very solid chase run, getting right up on Robinson's door as they cross the finish line for another run.
To the Achilles radial replay, and it's a simple case of Robinson just coming in too hot and not pulling up in time and making contact.
So Michael, through the top 8, how was that?
Yeah, it was pretty good. A bit unfortunate on the entry. Josh went in a bit too hot, gave me a bit of a love tap, which caused me to go off track. And I think there's a bit of a pothole on the edge of the track, and my tyre just came off my rim. So luckily we checked, there was no major damage done, so new tyre and rim on, and away we went.
Our next matchup, the Drift Kid, Nick Coulson and the Achilles Radial V Ute up against Brent Gordon in the PSA Ski Boats S15. He was Rookie of the Year last year. And Nick Coulson was in the lead of the championship at one stage. He's a very serious contender. That car has had a bit of a makeover and some upgrades during the off-season. He leads first, throws it in, got a big gap over Brent Gordon there, but he dives in. Bit of a shallower line to try and catch up. The first part of the run definitely in Nick Coulson's favour, but now Brent Gordon putting down a pretty solid chase run. Coming to the Achilles Radial hairpin now. And the judges radio through, and after that entry they're saying Nick Coulson has the advantage after his lead. All he needs to do now is hold it together in the chase run. Both cars running supercharged LS motors. Gordon throws it in, great entry. Coulson dives in on him for great proximity here. Coulson has great advantage here so far. He's putting down a killer chase run, switches back down to the hairpin, but watch this. Coulson comes in too hot, gets a wheel over the white line and loses the drift and throws the win away.
On board with Nick Coulson now, and he had the advantage putting down both great lead and chase runs, but he misjudged the Achilles radial hairpin and lost drift, handing the win to Brent Gordon.
So Brent, through to the top 8, how's that?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Carl's handling mint again. Awesome battle with Nick. It's great. He got me last year here, so it's good to finally get him back.
Locals going head-to-head. Victorian fan favourite Michael Prosnick and the SCR Drift Team S13 Sylvia up against Finny O'Hare in the Nankang Tyres R33 Skyline. RB power still under the hood of that Skyline, but V8 muscle in the S13. Prosnick will lead first. Full throttle run up, throws it in. Great entry from Prosnick. He's right out on the wall, then out on the line. It looks like Finney tried to dive in, but then washed off too much speed. Very messy as he came out of the horseshoe and dives in again into the Achilles radial hairpin, and that throws him off, and he loses a lot of ground to Prosnick. Judges saying Prosnick has a decent advantage now. We'll switch it around. Prosnick will give chase in the SCR Drift Team S13 Sylvia. Finney leads now, throws it in. Bit late on the entry, but Prosnick is right there though, giving a great chase run. Proximity is what the judges want, and Prosnick is all over the back of Finney O'Hare. Coming to the Achilles radial hairpin now. Can he hold it together through the last corner? He can. And it looks like Michael Prosnick will take the win and go through to the top 8.
Achilles radial replay, and we jump on board with Finney O'Hare. You can see Prosnick putting down a dominant lead run and Finney just unable to keep up.
So Michael, through to top 8, how was that? How was the run?
Oh, it was fantastic. Finney O'Hare, good friend, from the Victorian Drift Club. It's a shame we have to battle each other, working our way up through the ranks, but this is just a ripper day. Hopefully the weather holds out. There's going to be some hectic battles.
Don't go anywhere, as after the break we continue on the other side of the top 16 battle tree here at round 1 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting GP. Welcome back to round 1 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting GP. Australia's best drifters on track were the only entertainment, with the MRC Plaza RC Drift competition being held in the pits and the guys from Bling Designs organising some wild burnout demonstrations. Let's go to the Newlon Oils top 16 battle tree now. We are on to the right-hand side at the second half. Some pretty serious matchups about to unfold. Our first, both ADGP newbies, Joel Dimmack in the Camberware Clothing S13 and Jake Jones in the Just Car Insurance Sunvia. Jake Jones might be new to ADGP, but certainly not new to competition. Has spent plenty of time in China, actually, drifting and getting plenty of podiums. He leads first. Bit of a straight in there, bit of a wobble on his entry coming in, very messy. Joel Dimmack's very messy as well, straightens out, loses the drift here coming out of the horseshoe. So a bit messy on both drivers for the first half of the track. They both gather themselves up and finish off strong. Switch it around now. And Joel Dimmack will lead. Jake Jones will give chase in the Nissan Sunvia. In case you're wondering what that is, it's an S13 Silvia with a 180SX front, but an S13 Silvia bonnet. Bit of a mix-up. Jake Jones, great chase, throws it in behind Joel Dimmack. But Joel Dimmack overcooks it, loses the drift, straightens out, goes over the white lines, then gets out near the dirt as well. Straightens up and stops the drift. It's just very messy. Jake Jones bailed out of it as there was not much he could do, and it's all over for Joel Dimmack.
So Jake, through to top 8. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm pretty ecstatic, Like, after yesterday, yeah, it's unreal to be here. Like, my crew's awesome.
A pretty serious matchup to have this early in the piece. Josh Botcher in the GT Radial S15 up against Levi Clark in the Xfinity Drift Team. Turbocharged V8 S15. A sprint car style motor under the hood of Josh Botcher's car. It's a monster of a thing. JB leads. Levi keeping it nice and close in the run-up, but two close misjudges that they make contact on the run-up. And what happens here? Levi loses the drift. Obviously something mechanical has broken during that entry, and JB will sail through on his own for the rest of that run. Well, that was a bit of a strange one, ladies and gentlemen, but it looks like Levi Clark has suffered a mechanical issue and won't be able to continue.
And it's a bit of a weird one. Botcher comes down the bank to get ready to initiate the drift, and Levi misjudged where he needed to be. It's the responsibility of the chase car to maintain the correct proximity, so it's deemed Levi's fault.
Just getting some information back from the pits, and it turns out Levi broke a tail shaft, so the actual mechanical issue totally independent of the impact, but still unable to continue. Our next matchup, both from New South Wales, Bo Yates in the Achilles Wins Toyota 86, and Matt Hill in the Good Ride Tyres S15 Silvia, both with JZ power under the hood. Bo Yates will lead as the higher qualifier. These guys battle regularly in New South Wales, so he's keen to see what happens here at the Dome. Bo Yates has won 2 events here in a row, proving why there with a great entry right out to the white line. Gets out close to the wall. Perfect lead run from Bo Yates so far, but Matty Hill's doing pretty good to keep up and put up a decent chase run against Bo Yates. Judges calling through and saying an advantage to Bo Yates after that first battle. So let's switch it around as they take off from the Just Car Insurance start line. Throws it in nice and early up against the wall, but Bo Yates is right there, putting down a dominant chase run. Very close to Matty Hill. They switch coming out of the horseshoe now, but it looks like Matty Hill cuts in a little bit. That may have been 2 or 3 wheels over the white line, which will hand the win straight over to Bo Yates.
Achilles Radial replay time, and you can see Bo Yates is putting down a decent chase run, but it was fairly even up until Matt Hill cut a shallow line into the Achilles Radial hairpin and got 3 wheels over the inside white line, giving him a 0 and handing Bo Yates the win.
But no, really stoked for the team. The guys have worked really hard. You know, the last 10 days of my life have been pretty busy, so it's good to be down here, ADGP, Calder Park, and just super stoked to go through to the top 8.
Well, it's an ADGP veteran up against a rookie, Rob White, versus Brendan Greaves. They've already gone at it once. It's now a rerun to try and see who can win this battle. Brendan Greaves is our number 2 qualifier in that weapon of an S15 from Western Australia. Rob White gives chase, full throttle run up from Greaves, throws it in. The big entry. Rob White has to dive and cut a shallow line, clips that inside curve there on the chase. Both drivers get right on that white line. As they come out of the horseshoe, they switch now into that last corner. Rob White a little bit better on the chase now in that last corner. The judges radioing through saying Brendan Greaves has the advantage after the mistakes from Rob White on the entry. Let's see what happens when they switch it around now. Rob White leads. Full throttle run up, banging through the gears, and that Hollinger gearbox throws it in nice and fast. But Griggs, too much angle, overcooks it, hits Rob and pushes him off track, and that will hand the win to Rob White.
Not that we really need to see it again to know what happened. Let's check out the Achilles radial replay anyway.
So Rob, through to the top 8. What happened then?
It was a demolition derby. I mean, I don't know. I made the first mistake. I hit him. Fortunately, we put in a good lead run and he made an error behind us, so it gave us that opportunity for a rerun. Yeah, we're through to top 8. I'm excited, you know. Considering the troubles we've been having this weekend, it's a dream result to be here. You know, he's a good driver, qualified second, so it's a shame to see him come all the way from WA and be out early, but yeah, we're excited to take the win.
Stick around as after the break it's top 8 time as the battles get even fiercer here at the Dome for round 1 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting GP.
You're watching round 1 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting GP. As well as plenty of crazy drift machines and trade stands to check out, the guys from Established ran a show and shine for the spectators to take a closer look at some of Melbourne's best show and street cars. Well, here it is, the Newline Oil's top 8 battle tree. There's some new names in there. Michael Bonney, his first time in the top 8, and Jake Jones in there on his first time in ADGP. Michael Bonney, the best we've ever seen him drive, but now he's going to go up against the reigning champion, Michael Rosenblatt. This is their second rerun after a couple of silly mistakes and off-track excursions, forcing a couple of reruns. They're going to go at it for the third time now. Rosenblatt leads, throws it in. Great entry from Rosenblatt, but Bonney can't match it. Overcooks it, goes over the white line and straightens out. Rosenblatt can just sail through now for the rest of this run into the Achilles radial hairpin, and Bonney has another mistake over that white line, so it's going to be a 10-0 advantage to Rosenblatt. However, this happened in the last couple of battles, and then another silly mistake in the second run forced a rerun. Rosenblatt just needs to hold it together on his chase run this time if he wants to take the win. Bonney throws it in big, nice and early, lots of speed. Rosenblatt holds his composure this time around and puts down a great chase run. He could have hung back and took it easy, but he's putting on a show for the crowd and putting down a killer chase run behind Michael Bonney across the finish line, and Rosenblatt will take the win.
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory here. Bonney simply overcooks it on the entry and hands the win to Rosenblatt.
So Michael, through to top 4, how does that feel? How was that run?
Well, so relieved, you know. We went out in the first run. There's a little bit of oil or something on the track, you know, and we both exited the track, thank God. Gave me another shot, you know. It's hard being the first driver to hit the track for the first time, but you know, I had a little bit of a problem in the second run again. You know, I had to really push on my chase run, and then I finally nailed a decent lead run, and then I just, you know, tried to do the best chase run I can, and I'm happy to move on now.
Our next pairing, Michael Prosnick up against Brent Gordon, both in supercharged V8 Silvias. This is their second rerun, but there was no mistakes. The judges simply just could not split them and get a clear winner after the first 2 runs. However, second rerun, the judges must make a decision. Prosnick will lead as the higher qualifier, full throttle run up, throws it in, a little bit lazy winding on the angle to begin with, but he's there now. Brent Gordon diving in to get nice and close. This is almost a carbon copy of their last run. Gordon putting down a very solid chase. Prosnick, great lead run. And across the finish line now to finish their first run of their second rerun. Judges calling through, saying there is still no advantage either way. They want to see what happens on the second run, but they must choose a winner on the second rerun. Gordon leads now, throws it in. Great entry from Gordon. Prosnick now dives in on the chase into the horseshoe, putting down another solid chase run. Gordon gets right out there and taps the wall on the infield into the Achilles radial hairpin now. Once again, this is tough to call. We're going to go to the replay and the judges on this one.
On board with Brent Gordon, you can see that it's pretty tough to call and would normally be a rerun, but the ADGP regulations state that a winner must be decided after the second rerun. It became a case of looking for the tiniest mistake or advantage, but with no real mistakes made by either driver, the judges saw that Gordon went a little closer to the inner wall and was closer on his chase through the hairpin, which handed him the win.
So Brent, through to top 4, tell us what happened. My gosh.
It was just dramas everywhere. Had a battle, and then we got a rerun. Then Proz got a flat. Then we had a drama of if we were changing it or not. And then they let him change it. Then we went for another rerun, and yeah, finally got through. But it was tough, and it was crazy.
Our next pairing, Jake Jones in the Just Car Insurance Sunvia up against Josh Botcher in the GT Radial S15 South Australia versus Queensland. Another rerun. They seem to be the flavour on this side of the battle tree. Judges couldn't pick them on the first run. Josh Botcher will lead in the GT Radial S15. Full throttle run up, throws it in nice and early. Good entry there from Botcher. A little bit shallower on the angle there from Jake Jones as he dived in. JB right out to the wall there. Lots of angle on that outer clipping zone. Switches now to the outer clip by the grass. Good proximity there from Jake Jones as they come across the finish line. Another tough one to call there. Great proximity from Jake, especially in the second half of the run. Botcher did go a little bit wider on his line out towards that wall. Let's see what happens when they switch it around now. A little bit slow winding on the angle there, Jake Jones. Botcher a little bit shallower line to dive in, but great proximity. Jake Jones not going out far enough as far as JB out to that wall, but great proximity from JB into the Achilles radial hairpin. Bit of a wobble there from Jake Jones. He straightens out a little bit early, and JB is all over the back of him.
Let's jump on board with Josh Botcher and check out that killer chase run.
So Josh, through to top 4, how was that? Tell us a bit about the battle.
It was crazy. Jake Jones, another awesome driver. Yeah, we had a rerun. The first run was too close to call, where he was on my door, I was on his door. And then the second run, my spotter called through and he said, mate, he was all over you. So I just went, well, stuff this, I'm putting everything in. So I didn't know I was going to hit him pretty much the entire run. So awesome run with Jake. He's such a clean driver. Yeah, great run. The GT radials were on fire today. The engine's working well. It's all happening. So yeah, we're so happy.
Another great matchup now, both previous Australian champions and both driving for Team Achilles. Bo Yates versus Rob White have had some pretty intense battles in the past. 2JZ Power versus V8, both have sequential gearboxes. Bo Yates leads, throws it in fast and early. Rob White very shallow as he dived in there, but Bo Yates gets 2 wheels over the white line coming into the horseshoe and messes it up. As you know, 2 wheels over the line is a 0. So what happens for the rest of this run isn't going to matter. Judges radioing through now and confirming it is a 10-0 advantage to Rob White. Well, he leads now in the Achilles Motul Nissan 370Z. Oh, he cuts down the bank there before he throws it in. There was nearly a bit of contact. Bo Yates is right there though. Great chase run from Bo. Rob White switches now to that last outer clip, carrying a lot of speed here. Goes in too deep, bam, hits the wall, and Bo Yates follows him in.
Bo is keeping it nice and close for his chase run, but Rob overshoots into the hairpin and hits the wall, and Bo, being so close, simply follows him in.
And that gives a 10-0 to Bo Yates' favour this time, making it a rerun. However, with damage to Rob's car, he can't contest that battle, so Bo Yates is handed the win and he will be going through to the top 4, which is coming after the break. Welcome back to round 1 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting GP here at the Calder Park Thunderdome in Victoria. We're at the pointy end of the field now as we're about to head into the top 4 battles. Newlon Oil's top 4 battle tree. We're at the pointy end of the field. 3 of these guys will make the podium, but first up, let's get the left-hand side of the battle tree decided. It is last year's Rookie of the Year up against last year's season champion, Brent Gordon, up against Michael Rosenblatt. The Newlon Oil's R32 Skyline running nitrous, the PSA Ski Boats S15 Sylvia running supercharged V8. Rosenblatt leads as they take off from the Just Car Insurance start line, now full throttle all the way. Rosenblatt throws it in big early, lots of angle. Gordon can't match the angle, has to dive in a little bit shallower to catch back up coming into the horseshoe. Come out of that now and switch into the Achilles radial hairpin. Gordon putting down a pretty good chase run, wasn't able to match the entry, but once they were through the horseshoe, was able to get good proximity. Judges saying slight advantage to Michael Rosenblatt just due to the better entry that Brent Gordon couldn't match. Let's see what happens when they switch it around now. Brent Gordon leads. Rosenblatt gives chase. Gordon throws it in big, but Rosenblatt pushes too hard, makes a lot of contact there, slows the car down, has a big wobble, loses his line, becomes very shallow. That's a big mistake from Rosenblatt on the chase against Gordon, who was just too aggressive. He's close across the finish line, but that mistake will cost him.
Let's jump on board with Michael Rosenblatt to see what happened. He dives in on the entry and gets nice and close with a little rub, but he washes off too much speed and wrecks his line going through the horseshoe and into the infield. Way too shallow and away from the outer clips. Let's take another look from inside the car.
So Brent, you're going through to battle for first. Is this your first time?
Yeah, this is my first time going for first second, so yeah, it's just been a wild day. Things going on everywhere, and yeah, it's all worked out in my favour, so continue on and hopefully can take home the number 1.
All right, time to decide who will go up against Brent Gordon in the finals. Will it be Josh Botcher in the GT Radial S15, or will it be Bo Yates in the Achilles Wings Toyota 86? Bo has won the last 2 rounds here at the Dome. He is looking for the hat trick. Let's see what happens now as he gives chase. Botcher, full throttle run up. Bo hangs back a little bit as JB comes down the bank, throws it in, but look at the aggression there from Bo Yates. Right up on the door of Josh Botcher through the horseshoe. Super aggressive chase run. And JB, as a very serious machine, it's hard to follow that sort of speed, but Bo Yates is right there for a great chase run. Judges radioing through, they love what they see, especially on the entry. Bo Yates have a slight advantage coming into this run. They switch it around now as they take off from the Just Car Insurance start line. Another full throttle, big run up from Bo Yates. He's right up against the wall, but JB shallow on his line to dive in there. Doesn't make the most of it and doesn't get quite close enough coming into the horseshoe. He's better now as they switch to that outer clip. It looks like he may have cut over the white line there coming into the hairpin and cut that corner. Let's go to the replay and check it out.
Check out this angle in the Achilles radial replay and you can see just how close Bo Yates gets to Botcher on the entry and then continues the aggression for the entire run. Switch around now and jump on board with Josh Botcher. You can see he had a lot of catching up to do on the entry and had good proximity through the horseshoe, but coming into the Achilles radial hairpin, he puts a wheel over the white line and he's done, with Bo Yates pulling away and taking the win.
I just had a really good battle with Josh Botcher and, you know, the GT Radials. He's doing really well this weekend, so to go through into the final again, I mean, this place has been very kind to me over the years, so just super stoked. The boys turned the car around after the accident and just really excited to be here. ADGP round 1, and, you know, you couldn't probably want a better ending, really.
Well, you don't want to miss that ending, so stick around as after the break we head into the finals here at round 1 of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting GP.
It's final time here at round one of the Just Car Insurance Australian Drifting Grand Prix. We're about to see who gets to take home the podium spots.
Well, here it is, the Newlon Oils battle tree for the finals. Brent Gordon, the PSA Ski Boats S15 in his first finals berth up against Bo Yates in the Achilles Wins 86. But our first pairing is the battle for third place. Michael Rosenblatt, the 2014-15 champion and number one qualifier here this weekend. He's leading against Josh Botcher. Away from the Just Car Insurance start line now. Full throttle run up along the wall there for Rosenblatt. Throws it in nice and early, right up close against the wall. Botcher's running a bit of a shallow line there to dive in, but good proximity through the horseshoe. They switch now to that outer clip on the grass and into the Achilles radial hairpin, and Josh Botcher nice and close as they come across the finish line. They come back now to the start line and they'll switch around once again, and Michael Rosenblatt will have to give chase against Josh Botcher. Through the start line chicane now. On the run-up, Josh Botcher, he comes down the bank a little bit to put a bit of a feint into that initiation. A great entry. Rosenblatt nice and aggressive on his chase run again, getting nice and close. And they switch now as they come off the wall. But it looks like Rosenblatt's cutting a little bit shallow into that last corner. That may have been a wheel over. We'll have to go to the replay to find out, as that may determine the winner.
Let's jump on board with Josh Botcher for a wild ride in the Achilles radial replay. Switch it around now and jump on board with Michael Rosenblatt in the Newlon Oils R32 Skyline. It's looking pretty even, but a wheel over the white line coming into the Achilles radial hairpin could be enough to cost him the win. We'll find out at the trophy presentation.
Well, here it is, the finals. Bo Yates has been here before, but it's a first for Brent Gordon. Now up to the start line now, and Bo Yates will lead as the higher qualifier in the Achilles Wins Toyota 86. Through the gears in that sequential gearbox on the run-up, throws it in nice and early up against the wall. Brent Gordon not quite matching his angle and not going as far out to that line as what Bo Yates did. He's on a killer lead run here, textbook run. Brent Gordon's giving it everything he can to keep up, but just not able to put down a very dominant chase run. What will happen now though when they switch it around? Judges calling through that Bo Yates has the advantage. So Brent Gordon's going to need to pull off something special on his lead run if he wants to switch it around. Gordon, nice big entry, but Bo Yates super aggressive, nice and close. Following his line all the way through the horseshoe, now onto the wall. They switch that outer clip and Bo Yates is still right there, locked on. Nice and close as they come across the finish line and tag the wall.
No need to talk you through these runs, just jump on board with Brent Gordon and enjoy the ride. Now let's switch it around and check out how close Bo Yates got on his chase run.
We go to the trophy presentation now, and the winner of round one is Bo Yates in the Achilles Wins Toyota 86, making it 3 in a row for him. That means Brent Gordon takes second place in the PSA Ski Boats S15, and Josh Botcher is given third place in the GT Radial S15 Sylvia.
I'm super excited. I mean, first round of ADGP, some new sponsors on board with Achilles Radial, wins as always, the guys at Hypertune, know, everyone involved. This car was a wreck about 10 days ago, so to come down to Calder Park for the first round of ADGP and get another win, you know, I'm super stoked. That's 3 in a row for Calder.
Yeah, awesome. Came here, being a bit nervous of the track because of all the walls, but excited because it's a fun track to drive, and then was just happy to get through the top 16. And then, yeah, ended up keep going and made it all the way through, which was pretty cool. My crew, my old boy and Robbie, and then sponsors PSA Ski Boats, Precise Suspensions Automotive, MC Motorsport and Active Automotive.
I keep saying today it's been such a long road to this day. We've been spending probably the last 3 months spending a lot of time rebuilding the car, so to come away with 3rd place is fantastic. Massive thanks to the crew, massive thanks to everyone who's helped out, the sponsors, the team supporters, yeah, family, father has spent a lot of time on the car as well, so yeah, it's been amazing.
Let's take a look at the Just Car Insurance leaderboard to check out the standings for this event. Michael Prosnick in 5th place, the highest ranked Victorian. Michael Bonney, his best result to date in 6th. Rob White in 7th. Jake Jones, a good start to ADGP in 8th. Brendan Greaves in 9th, and Nick Coulson rounds out the top 10. For round 2, we're heading to Adelaide International Raceway in South Australia for the very first time on November 28th and 29th. We've put together a totally custom designed course so there'll be no home track advantage. More info and tickets at www.australiandriftinggp.com.au.